Hey VC, I'm doing a contest entry to a Jacob's contest. He's a VC member up in Denmark, or lives off the coast of Denmark on an island. And his channel, I believe, is called Moen Rocks. I'll leave a link below in case you want to enter his contest as well, or subscribe to his channel. And he had 3 questions and then a bonus question at the end. And the first question was name 3 world or ethnic musicians, artists or albums. And here are a couple I came up with. This is Syncadus. The name of the album is Ara Nostrum. Syncadus is a band from Sweden, and progressive band, and they are a progressive rock band, and they use guitar, bass, drums, and there's quite a bit of organ and flute music on here as well. The copy I have is on Cyclops Records, and really good band. They use a lot of different textures and different rhythm changes and everything. So anyway, Syncadus. This band is an Italian band, known in the States mostly as PFM because of the, this kind of a hard band name to remember. This is their second album, called Per un Amico, and like I said, they're an Italian band. Premiata for Ferneria Morricone, and kind of like Syncadus, they are a progressive rock band from Italy, and influences from, say, King Crimson to Yes, symphonic rock is basically what it is. There's a lot of mellotron on this album. If you like, mellotron flourishes in your music, it's symphonic. And yeah, this is my favorite album by them. This one is called Encuyo. This is music from the Andes, Temple of the Sun. And this band has it's like four members. 3 of the members are from South America, and the female in the group is from America here. But it's on Fortuna Records, or also Kook Records. This is a really neat album. We got the album in my CD player in the other room. But it's Andean music, and they use a lot of different flutes, a lot of different instruments on this album actually. A lot of kind of indigenous flutes, and different type of keyboards, or guitars, excuse me. But also a bunch of different percussive instruments. This tells you a little bit of all the different instruments that they use on this album, quite a few. And it's got some real nice bass tones from some of the flutes that they use. But yeah, Temple of the Sun by Encuyo. This is one that I just had. It's kind of an anthology. I like a lot of different anthology albums. I may have shown this one before. Cafe Brazil. It's again South American music, and this is a new generation of Brazilian singers. I didn't really notice any of the singers on here, but if you're interested in buying a anthology or compilation of different singers, I always like picking up stuff like this because it introduces me to new singers I'd never heard of before, or new bands. So anyway, this is Cafe Brazil. and this is on what record label is this on? Deck Records. So yeah, good album. This is one of my more favorite African albums, and it was pretty popular when it was released. It's King Sunny All Day and his African Beats. This is Synchro Systems. If you're into African music, this is a great one to pick up. Very mellow, with you know, a lot of guitar. Yeah, check it out on Amazon or one of your streaming websites. It's really good. Here's another one. This is a favorite of mine. It's a Jamaican album with a lot of different Jamaican musicians on it. Actually, this album came from is from a soundtrack, and the soundtrack is of the same name too. It's called Rockers, and it's a very up album, very tropical, as you might imagine from coming out of Jamaica, and yeah, it's a fun album. Then Jacob wanted to let's see here, show some songs about drinking. He said he's from Denmark, and he said the people up there like to drink, and it doesn't have to be about alcohol. It can be like water or tea or coffee or whatever. But here's some I came up with. This is Jerry Jeff Walker's Viva Terlingua album. He's from down around the Austin area, and I was living in Austin when this album came out and was real popular at the time. But on this album he's got a song called, actually two songs about wine. One is called Sangria Wine, and the other is called Backsliders Wine. Let's see if I can get a picture of it. Right. I believe you can see that. There it is. Backsliders Wine right here. And he's a folk artist or singer-songwriter, and yeah, I like this album a lot. Here's one by Willie Nelson, Phases and Stages, and on this album Willie has a song called Bloody Mary Mornings right there. And it's one of Willie's better albums, I think, if you like country music. And here's one by John Lee Hooker, blues artist, and he's got a song on here called One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer, which is right there. And good blues album too. And then Jacob was wanting to show some album songs or what have you. He was pretty loose about this, that had to do with sports. He made his contest because he's watching the World Cup that's going on now. And I have this one by Anthony Phillips, Sides. As you can see on the cover, it's about, I think it's taken from foosball, but foosball is sort of like table soccer, and here in the States it got real popular in the 70s. And but anyway, there's that, and then there's also this. This is is one of a collections of the Beach Boys from their box set, and you know, it's loaded down with songs about surfing, things like Surfing USA, Little Surfer Girl surfing, and probably Little Deuce Coupe, you know. So there's some songs about surfing, which I consider a sport. I think they consider it a sport in the States. Here's one. It's an old 45 that I found from one of my high schools. I went to 2 different high schools in Texas, one in East Texas and one in West Texas. This one here, our mascot was the Lobos, which is a wolf right here. And it's got a cheerleader on the cover and everything. And our school colors were green and white, which is like this record here. It's green and white too. The record's not much to speak of, you know. It's got school songs on it and some, you know, some talking about the history of the high school and what have you. But there's that. And then I got this too, and you might be wondering what this is. The best of Vangelis or Vangelis, the Greek synthesizer player. And you might wonder what that has to do with sports. But I bought this album used, and generally I check the condition of my albums whenever before I buy them, to see if they're all scratched up or whatnot. And I did. I mean, this copy here is in good shape. But then when I got it home, I noticed that it was the Chariots of Fire soundtrack, which is about the running teams during the I think it was the 1924 Olympics, if I'm not mistaken, or 1942 Olympics, one of those. But if you've never seen the movie, it's a good movie to watch too, and the soundtrack is pretty good as well. But that's the album's from Chariots of Fire anyway. And then Jacob had a bonus question, and it was if you have anything by a Danish artist to show that, and I do. And this is Niels Hennings Ostred Petersen. He's a bass player from Denmark. Really great bass player too. I love everything he's ever played on. Jazz bass player. On this album, let's see, who's he playing with? Dave Liebman plays tenor sax, soprano sax, and John Schofield is on guitar, and Billy Hart plays the drums. So, Dancing on the Tables on Steeplechase Records. Here's another one by Niels as well. This is with Joe Pass, and it's a live recording where they played at the North Sea Jazz Festival in The Hague in Holland in 1979. And yeah, like I said, if you enjoy bass guitar, you can't go wrong with Niels. He's also known as N-Hop, by his initials right here. But there you go, Jacob. Wanted to enter your contest and support your channel, and I hope others enter as well. So we'll talk to you later. Have a good summer.